Have you ever been scrolling through home listings and you see a price that actually seems kind of reasonable? You think, yes, finally, something I can afford. It's that classic starter home dream, right? But what happens when that dream slams into the reality of a monthly budget? Well, let's dive into the numbers, because the math behind a so-called affordable house, it can be surprisingly brutal.
I mean, this just hits home for so many of us. You find the place, the price looks okay on the surface, but then the real work starts. You're trying to figure out how to stretch every single dollar to cover this thing that feels like it should be in reach, but for some reason, it's just not. It's this incredibly frustrating and all too common financial puzzle. And really, that's the big question here, isn't it? We're going to peel back all the layers of that price tag and see what affordable really looks like once you factor in all the other costs of just, living.
So to make this super clear, we're not just going to throw a bunch of abstract numbers at you. No, we're going to follow a hypothetical household, let's call them a case study, on their journey to buy their very first home. Let's see just how well their budget holds up under a little pressure.
So our household, they bring in a combined income of $75,000 a year. On paper, that sounds pretty solid, right? I mean, it's a respectable income that for a lot of people should be more than enough to get into a modest first home. So this is our starting point.
Okay, let's break that down. $75,000 a year, you divide that by 12, and you get $6,250 a month. Now remember, this is the gross pay. This is that big, shiny number you see on the offer letter before anybody takes their cut.
And here it is. This full bar, this is our starting line. Think of it as 100% of the money they've earned, all $6,250 of it before the realities of life start chipping away at it. And trust me, it starts chipping away real fast.
And here it is, the first and usually the biggest hit to that total. Because let's be real, nobody gets to keep their gross pay. The very first slice of that pie always goes to taxes. And whoa, the difference is pretty stark. That $6,250 in gross pay, it immediately shrinks down to about $4,700 after federal, state, and payroll taxes are all taken out. That's over $1,500 that just vanishes before they even see it. This number, the $4,700, that's their actual take-home pay.
And looking at it this way, you can really see the impact. That whole grayed out section, that's money that was never really theirs to spend in the first place. The colored part of the bar, that $4,700, that's the real budget we have to work with for literally everything else in their life.
But oh, we are not done with the cuts yet, not by a long shot. Before our household can even think about putting a roof over their head, they've got to pay for decisions they've already made. And we're talking about pre-existing debt. And for most households, especially in this income range, this is just reality. There are almost always student loans hanging around and car payments for the vehicles they need to get to work. These aren't luxuries, these are non-negotiable monthly bills that have to get paid, period.
So look what that does to our bar. We started with $4,700 in take-home pay. After we account for pretty typical student loan and car payments, another massive chunk just disappears. Our once mighty income bar is getting smaller and smaller.
All right, now we can finally talk about the house. With what little money is left over, our family is ready to take on the cost of that $250,000 home. But here's the kicker. The true cost isn't just that mortgage payment you see advertised online.
And this is so crucial for any new home buyer. Your monthly payment is not just the mortgage. It's a whole bundle of costs, usually called PITI. You've got principal and interest on the loan itself, sure, but you also have property taxes and homeowner's insurance rolled in every single month. And those extras can easily add hundreds of dollars to your bill.
So when you bundle all of that stuff together for a $250,000 house in today's market, you're looking at a total monthly housing cost of around $2,113. That is the real number our household has to somehow fit into their already shrinking budget.
Okay, this is it, the moment of truth. Let's put it all together. They start with $4,700 in take-home pay. We subtract their debt payments, $2,510. Then we subtract their housing payment, another $2,113. So what is actually left over for them to live on for an entire month?
$77. I'm not kidding, that's it. After paying taxes, paying their debts, and covering the costs of their supposedly affordable home, this household has just $77 left for, well, everything else.
And what in the world does $77 need to cover? Oh, just the basics: food, electricity and gas for the house, gas for the cars, internet, phones. And that's not even touching things like savings or emergencies or clothes or, having a life. The list of things this tiny amount has to cover is it's staggering.
Let's put that in an even crazier perspective. $77 a month breaks down to about $2.50 a day. That's what's left for groceries, for keeping the lights on, for any unexpected flat tire. It's not a budget, it's a financial trap.
And this brings us right back to our big question. If a household earning a perfectly respectable $75,000 a year is left with basically nothing after buying a supposedly affordable $250,000 house, then who exactly is that house for? It's a question that really says a lot about the true cost of housing today.